let's go ahead and start talking about the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans, um, they obviously had the not just the best record in the AFC South last year, they had the best record in the AFC last year. And I mean, Mike Vrabel, I think, has proven himself to be one of the best overall coaches in the NFL. The team last year was very heavily injured, um, and he was still able to find a way to get it done. It was led by the defense, maybe one of, if not the best defensive lines in football last year. Um,
Dude,
just,
Isaiah Simmons and Danico Autry are a fucking force.
who'd you say?
Danico Autry.
Danick Autry and you said Isaiah Simmons. Do you mean Jeffrey Simmons?
Jeffrey Simmons, my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, those two guys, and well, Danico Autry sometimes on the inside, but then you got Bud Dupree and Harold Landry on the outside. That's just a really good
Dupree guy.
Huh?
Not a Bud Dupree guy.
That guy he's more of a run stuffer.
Contract though.
But they're top 10 league in sacks last year. They were the second best run defense last year. The one concern with the defense, though, is kind of that secondary. They obviously do have Kevin Byard back there, but besides that, I mean, they're not the strongest in secondary. They drafted Roger McCreary. Let's see how he is. They have Caleb Farley and Christian Fulton. They've drafted the past couple years, but it's a very young group, a group with potential, but overall not the strongest secondary yet.
Yeah, I mean, they're very young. I like Christian Fulton to an extent, but you didn't mention Elijah Molden. I think
the nickel.
He's nickel, but he's also played safety for them across from Byard. He's very solid. Every time during the Titans playoff games, I was like, this guy seems to be in on the plays, and I kind of pick up that knack to just see those players that are in on every play. I think he takes a big jump. As far as the defense, I think Harold Landry was overpaid. I think Bud Dupree was overpaid. That's just my stance. You could nod your head all you want. Bud Dupree, I called it that he was going to be a bust out of that contract. I think he got injured last year, so that's not fair to say yet that I'm right. But Harold Landry, I think it's the same case this year. He was always decent, and he was decent coming out of college. I don't know how he fell to the second round out of Boston College, but he's always just been okay, solid, doing his own little thing, like 9, 8, sometimes 10 sacks. Last year went crazy, like players do on their contract year. I don't hate on it. That's what they need to do to get that money. I don't hate on it, but I just feel like he got overpaid and Bud Dupree overpaid. So as far as skill-wise, yeah, I think they're good. The only thing they're missing is inside linebacker. They lost Rashaan Evans to the Falcons. They didn't really go for him. And Jayon Brown, I forgot what team he went to, but he also left. They have no inside linebacker that I know off the top of my head.
Well, their linebackers, they do have Zach Cunningham that they got from with
they do have, Zach Cunningham. That's right. And he was solid.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Zach Cunningham guy. He's more of a run stuffer than the guy in pass coverage. They also have David Long at linebacker. David Long.
No idea who that is. Oh, out of the Rams?
No, I think they drafted David Long.
I've never heard of his name.
But I mean, I think you're correct saying Harold Landry is overpaid. I think he is amazing edge rusher. And I mean, Bud Dupree, he's a good run stuffer. He's not there to rush the passer. He's kind of more of a cleanup guy when rushing the passer, but maybe a little higher his contract than I would personally prefer if I was.
You don't pay a run stuffer that much. You don't.
But their defense took a huge step because of addition like him last year. Because their defense was pretty bad 2 years ago. This year, they were one of the best defenses in the NFL. They were.
I don't think that was because of Bud Dupree, though.
Huh?
I don't think that was because of Bud Dupree, though.
I think he's a big reason for that.
No, I disagree. I think the D tackles are with the big impact. I think Jeffrey Simmons took a big ass step this year.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey Simmons proved to be a guy, like a legit guy.
Top 5 D tackle.
And I mean, we kind of knew that coming out of college. He had that potential, but he had the injuries coming out, which is why he even fell that far to the Titans. I think he was like around the 20th pick. I think he was lower than that. But,
he was drafted 19, I think.
Yeah, that's what I think. But I mean, he could have maybe been definitely top 10 pick if he wasn't hurt coming out. So he's just kind of just building into the guy that we knew he could be. And then on offense, though, for the Titans, they obviously lost A.J. Brown. But he was hurt a lot last year. And I mean, the offense wasn't great last year. But it's not like they haven't been without him before. They traded for Robert Woods. They also lost Julio Jones. But they traded for Robert Woods, who I think is going to be ready to begin the season. I don't know if you've heard anything on that, but I believe he'll be ready.
He is expected to be there week 1. And so is Godwin, but I doubt that. He should not be playing week 1. That guy should not be rushing that shit. He just got paid.
Yeah, and we'll get to the Bucks later. But they traded for Robert Woods. They drafted Treylon Burks. They drafted Cal Phillips also, who I think you like and I know I like.
Love Cal Phillips.
Yeah, they signed Austin Hooper in free agency to be a tight end. And they're going to get Derrick Henry back. So they did make some additions, although I will say I think losing A.J. Brown is going to be pretty big for them. And, of course, I can't forget they drafted Malik Willis. Don't know if he'll see the field this year, but I think I had to throw that in there. But we did see Ryan Tannehill make a bit of a decline last year. Could you say it's because Derrick Henry was out? And could you say it was because A.J. Brown and Julio Jones missed a lot of time last year? Potentially.
I think, sorry, because I don't want to lose my train of thought. I always do that. What you were just touching on is why Tannehill was so bad last year. That O-line just – I'm not blaming the O-line. Tannehill I know Tannehill. He was never great, but he looked especially bad last year. Like, that O-line could not protect him. Their piece that they, quote-unquote, build around in that O-line was terrible. Taylor Lewan gave up 5 sacks the first game. Roger Saffold had his worst year of his career, who they now cut, and now they have a gap there. I think they had a good young right guard drafted last year, and they're starting – yeah, Nate Davis was solid, and I have no problem with Ben Jones, but Lewan was shit. That whole left side of the line was just terrible. And I think this year they're finally starting Dylan Redunz at the right tackle, if I'm correct.
I believe that's a goal, unless they play Petit Frere, who I'm not a fan of. But
I'm not either. Out of Ohio State, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him.
Yeah. But, I mean, Derrick Henry back should be big, but I don't think we're going to see the same Derrick Henry he once was. It's just the fact that he is getting older and he is coming off a major injury. I do think that if you're the Titans, you need to, lighten his workload a little bit, maybe throw a little bit of Hilliard, maybe throw in a little bit of Son Haskins, who you just drafted. I think they brought over Trent Cannon also from the Niners, throw in some other running backs to kind of get the load off his shoulders. And I mean, a good Derrick Henry is going to lead to a good Ryan Tannehill. He's kind of best when he's in the play action game. When he's kind of more of an athletic game manager, that's kind of where he's at his best. Robert Woods, we have to wait and see how he comes back from injury. Obviously, he's a great run blocker, but will help with Derrick Henry. And he was a great receiver. New scheme, though, away from Sean McVay. We'll see how he plays. Treylon Burks, I know you were a big Treylon Burks guy. I wasn't as high on him. I know, obviously, we've heard stuff about him being, not in shape or having asthma in training camp. But the one thing I will say about that is, even though we've heard those bad stuff, I don't really care about bad stuff as long as I hear some good days. I haven't really heard any of that, though, from Treylon Burks.
He sat out most of it, I've heard.
Yeah, I know he's definitely sat out some of it, but I have to wait and see how the reports we're hearing from training camp. I don't know if he's going to be a big contributor from day one. Maybe he can be down the road, but it does worry me somewhat from just from rookie minicamp and all that. But obviously, we've heard some stuff during rookie minicamp, like Jamar Chase doesn't know how to catch football. And
we saw that. We all said that. Not even the Bengals. Yeah. We all said that. Those preseason games, that man's hands were stones. But he came out, and I don't get me wrong. I wasn't high on Jamar Chase. I didn't think. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't thinking he was going to get 1,400 yards, but I knew he was going to be good. But damn, that good. I don't do all the training camp stuff. We'll be good.
I don't even know Jamar Chase knew he's going to be that good first year in the NFL.
No way he did.
But yeah, I mean, you got to wait and see with Treylon Burks. But it is a little concerning when we're at least talking about this season, what they're going to do, because they're going to need him to be good this year, play week 1, or will play good from the jump at least.
Yeah.